From the surprise reunion between Jaime and Lord John to a potential spin-off series focusing on John himself. Here's how David Barry leaked a major Outlander detail. Season 7's second episode, The Happiest Place on Earth, finally tied up all those loose ends we've been dying to see resolved. Not only did we get some closure on that fateful fire in the big house, but there was also that jaw-dropping reveal that Alan Christie was the one who murdered his own sister.
You killed her. It wasn't her fault. None of that. But then I found out that she lay with Ian.
But just when you thought things couldn't get any crazier, our favorite Fraser and Mackenzie clans made a pit stop in Wilmington to find some precious gemstones. But it led to an emotional reunion between none other than Jaime and Lord John Grey. Now, if you're wondering why this is such a big moment, it's because these two are a classic case of friendship versus duty, and the stakes have never been higher. Jaime and John aren't just old friends. John also has feelings for our favorite Highlander, which is important, considering this is a time when homosexuality earned you the death penalty. So to see them on opposite sides of a war, well, let's just say fans are in for some major heartbreaks down the line. Even the star who plays Lord John, David Barry himself, had a lot to say about the scene. According to Barry, the stakes in their relationship have always been through the roof, almost like it's a trademark of the show. Now, the show may not be a melodrama, but it's got it all. Wars, passionate romances, betrayals, you name it. Plus, since this season's focusing on the war for independence, the relationship between Jaime and Lord John's going to be put to the test, especially with their son caught in the middle. You see, John's been raising Jaime's son William as his own this whole time. Both of them have agreed to keep the truth hidden from the kid. But now, the fact that these two are on opposite sides of the war, it means that Jaime will eventually have to face his son in battle. Barry has highlighted William's importance in this entire conflict in the scene where Lord John tried to convince Jaime to fight for the crown, since he knows that Jaime promised himself to never face his own son in battle. But just when John thought he'd convinced him, things took an unexpected turn, as Jaime decided it'd be best for them not to see each other anymore, even though he still considers John a friend. Imagine getting friend-zoned by the father of your child. I'm not kidding when I say that things got even worse. I mean, this one scene's changed the whole dynamic between these characters. If you've been following the show on Starz, or maybe even binged the earlier seasons on Netflix, you know that Lord John's feelings for Jaime go way beyond friendship. Barry didn't hold back when it came to explaining how Jaime's decisions are affecting his character, saying that Lord John was no stranger to heartbreak, and he's been let down by Jaime time and time again. But this time's different, because after Jaime told him to never show his face again, John's feeling a massive sense of betrayal. But you know what they say, love knows no boundaries, and Lord John's no exception to that rule. He's been through the ringer a whole lot more than anyone should have been, but maybe he's finally reached his limit, deciding to put an end to this one-sided relationship. You gotta admit, though, it's hard not to feel bad for the guy, because he's always supported Jaime, even raising his son for him. And what does he get in return? Absolutely nothing. So is anyone really surprised to see John go down his villain arc? You know what they say, all's fair in love and war, and this season's got both. Even Barry believes that the two have reached a fork in the road, and that their paths might take a turn for better or worse. So as we gear up for Season 7, get ready for an epic showdown that'll test the limits of friendship, loyalty, and love. Still, I can't be the only one who's thought about how different things could have been, especially if Lord John had the same foresight as Jaime. I mean, imagine if he knew what the future held, just like Jaime does. If Jaime didn't already know that the British were destined to lose the war, thanks to all those time travelers and his family.
Goodbye, Clay.
John might have actually convinced him to fight for him. But let's face it, things aren't that simple, and according to executive producer Meryl Davis, Jaime's thoughts on the revolution are pretty clear. There's no way he'll be donning a redcoat again, and neither will he sit on the sidelines. Nope, Jaime is in it to win it, even if that means he might have to kill his friend and his son. Damn, looks like John just can't catch a break, because the guy's been unlucky in many aspects of his life. Not just love, but this whole situation's just messed up. Still, that's the beauty of complex characters, right? They face challenges and setbacks that make us root for them even more. And judging by the way this season's going, you should be stocking up on your tissues, just in case. John's not going to be the same guy the next time we see him. That is, if we do see him at all this season. As of right now, I have no idea when we'll get to see him again, and we've all been left hanging, not knowing if or when he'll be seeing Jamie again. John doesn't make an appearance in the promo for episode 3 either, but let's not jump to conclusions yet. There's no doubt that Jamie has a lot on his plate, and who wouldn't be? Even though he told John that they shouldn't see each other anymore, there's a war looming on the horizon, and you know what that means? It could very well lead to Lord John and Jamie crossing paths once again, but this time as enemies. If that does happen, then there's no doubt in my mind that there's going to be a happy ending for either character. It's hard to choose who to root for in this situation. On one side, you've got Jamie, who we've grown closer to over 7 seasons, but on the other, there's John, who's stolen our hearts with his tragic storyline. No matter what happens to either character, you already know that the fandom's gonna be divided, with some wishing to see the two reach a peaceful conclusion, while others just want to see the drama, looking forward to a duel to the death between old friends. But hey, even if John does end up biting the dust, you can always look forward to him appearing in his own spin-off series. Is anyone really surprised that a character that's as complex and interesting as Lord John would have their own solo adventures? Now, John's an incredibly powerful role on the show, a closeted homosexual during a time when just being who he is could lead to a death sentence. So it was no surprise that the guy got his own spin-off book series, which has a legion of devoted fans of its own, who are all secretly hoping that one day he'll also have his own TV show. Fingers crossed, folks. When asked about the overwhelming love for Lord John, Barry humbly expressed his gratitude, saying that he loved all of the love for John and that it was such an amazing feeling. He also talked about how it was a privilege to portray a character who leads his own book series and also has a dedicated fan base. But when it came to the future of the character, Barry explained that kind of stuff was out of his control and that he'll just leave it to the universe to decide. Things are about to get seriously dramatic for Lord John in this upcoming season of Outlander, so brace yourselves, because this guy's in for a rough ride, and you can sit back and enjoy the twisted pleasure of seeing him being crushed emotionally, or maybe even physically depending on how things go. So, there you have it, from a potential spin-off series focusing on John himself, to the surprise reunion between Jamie and Lord John. That's how David Barry leaked a major Outlander detail.